Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my goodness, you know what? Um, I have been trying to log on. I knocked the power cord out of my computer, and I was wondering why it was like limping across the finish line. Well, that's because it was just about out of juice. So it had slowed down significantly. Let me see, how much power do I have? It's not even giving me a percentage, but yeah, it was mighty low. Okay, percentage wise, oh my goodness, I was down. I was probably down to about 5% power. I didn't even notice I knocked the cord out. It probably wasn't plugged in all day, but no worries. What's the difference? As long as we're together now, right? I was wondering. I'm like, oh Lord, don't tell me this computer is going out. But it's not. It was just a little issue with the power cord. Oh, oh, I need to do one more thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what I forgot to do. Nope, not that. That. Oh, no, I did that already. Huh. Okay. Oh, well, then we're all set then. Let me bring up the um, the slides. Okay. Welcome back, Connie Balmer. This is the second time that you've been the first one here today. That must mean something. I'm not sure what it means, but it must mean something. Okay. And slides are ready. There we go. There we go. Okay, and welcome back. Who else is back again? Well, anyway, we'll get to that later. And by the way, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Hey, legs. Um, okay, take that away. All right, the title connection. I hope I got that right. Title connection. Yeah. All right. Let's get on with it, shall we? What did they know? Well, according to Glow, you would not get the British tabloids going this far with a headline. That is, with this headline. Let me try that again. You would not get the British tabloids going this far with a headline. They might enjoy feasting over Prince Andrew and his Epstein mess for additional sales and clicks, but they are still about protecting the monarchy. However, I'm pretty confident the royal family are complicit from a number of angles. And let me tell you something. There's several people in the Sussex squad that when I say they will get to the bottom of it, or if they could at the very least find those angles, Glow is one of them. And if Glow is listening, Glow, we are long overdue for one of your amazing videos. I mean, I have not seen one in so long. I'm starting to think that maybe, am I unsubscribed? Is that what the problem is? But something is going on, and we need one of those Glow videos um, where she just breaks everything down. Um, yeah, we're overdue. So if you're listening, Glow, do know we are long overdue for one of your amazing videos. Okay, let me go to the next one here. Now, I do have a couple of sound bites to share with you too. And just in case you're a little confused, I'm going to change the way I do things here because It seems like YouTube has changed on me. So I'm going to have to change a few things about how my day goes. Like, instead of doing those super long videos that I'm so famous for, although from time to time, and the thing is, I really enjoy the long videos. I really do. So much fun. But sometimes we have to adapt and change. And this is one of those times. I think it has to do with the shorts. And I do love the shorts. I watch the shorts myself. Um, but it's not making, actually, I would say it's making life a little difficult for some of us that are a bit long winded. And that's something. William and Kate must rebuild family integrity after Andrew arrest. Um, yeah, if William can stay away from some of those bags of money, he might be able to do that. Not to say that he himself has received a bag of cash, but if he keeps hanging around the people that he's been hanging around lately, he's bound to get one himself. Okay.
Think that they might want to ask. I would posit to you, and I'll posit to the listeners, if this were any other public institution, a government department.
Okay, listen, you guys, I just come across this. Before I get to Omid Scobie, please let us take a listen to this. This is the first time I'm seeing it myself. This is from LBC. I don't know who this is talking, but let's take a listen, shall we?
Given the gravity of the allegations that have been made over the years, you would think that they might want to ask. I would posit to you, and I'll posit to the listeners, if this were any other public institution, a government department, a leading charity, a leading British business, whatever it happened to be, the National Trust, whatever NGO, whatever it was, and there have been many allegations of sexual impropriety or whatever it happens to be, or wrongdoing, usually there would at least be some form of internal inquiry, a check on the processes, a check about who might have known might have known what when. As far as we know, the royal family have never even asked. And if they have asked, they've never made it public.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that is a tenable situation, frankly, given the scale of the public interest that there now is in this story.
Okay. You know what? I am loving this for the royal family. I am loving this. To be fair to that person, let me go ahead, and maybe you guys can tell me who he is because I don't know. But I will share the. I'll show you who he is. I'll take a screenshot here. Um. Okay, give me just a second, and then maybe you can tell me who he is because I don't recognize him. But he's chatting to someone on the LBC radio. So coming up, give me just a second here. This guy. He seemed to be so passionate about what he was saying. I'm just like, wait, what is he saying? Yeah, I don't recognize him. Oh my God. The royal family is getting dragged right now. That's why they're so desperate to try to work Harry and Meghan into this because usually Harry and Meghan is a big distraction for them. So, does anybody know who it is? Because I don't recognize him. Hey, Heather Stroud, thank you for being here. Okay. Well, just thought I'd ask. If nobody knows, that's okay. Oh my goodness. Is this new? Andrew accused of watching someone being tortured by electric shock, allegedly. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. uh, okay. I'll share that with you later. All right, guys. I'm so sorry. I got to get off of this Twitter. Um, oh, you saw that too with the this guy, right? I don't watch LBC. Okay. Let's see here. Most vile and despicable creatures. Here, here. I agree with you. Okay, so let's get to this. Omid Scobie, um, you know that Royal Spin. I believe is that a series or something? Anyway, I know it's a book, and I believe they're doing some series out of the book. He does well. I'll just let you listen. I'll let you listen. It'd be easier that way.
I think seeing Meghan navigate, especially those kind of like earlier months and within kind of the royal fold, the culture differences, and just see the reaction on the other side from the staff and people around her, that did help kind of shape what that kind of looks like for any outsider entering that world. And we were able to kind of like bring that to some of Lauren's experience. I do remember with Meghan, like very early on, one of my kind of like first times meeting her and speaking to others that have met her, she went up to some of the staff and she was like, "Oh, I'm a hugger." And she hugged them. And like afterwards, like there was like one person at the palace that like imitated that. And they were like, "Oh, I'm a hugger." Like, as if it was such something like so revolting that this person had brought to the room.
Hugging like, everyone. Like, that American impression was kind of amazing. Have you been working on it?
I sadly have not. Robin will know my American accent will never improve. It is permanently bad, and I'm okay with that. I'm holding on to the British one for the time being.
Okay, so if you didn't catch that, that was matter of fact that said, and guess who's hugging everyone now? Of course, she's referring to the fact that now people in the royal family, in particular, Will and Kate, are hugging everybody now. Remember, that was such a stigma. That was a breach of protocol when Meghan first arrived on the scene. And then also the other person who remarked that was what's her name with all the lipstick on. She was making reference to his American accent. And as you could hear, Omid Scobie said that when Meghan first arrived, she told someone on staff, she says, "Oh, I'm a hugger." And of course, they began to mock her, at least one person on the staff, "Oh, I'm a hugger," and trying to sound as American as possible. So that's the one of the examples of what Meghan was up against, that people on the staff was openly mocking her. And the reason why something like that would happen so openly is because they were obviously given a license to do so by those two. By those two right there. The rot usually starts at the top. That's where the rot starts, is at the top. And I have no doubt in my mind that those two are responsible for that. Their jealousy, their bitterness, and of course, their usual laziness. They could not stand the idea that the American came with that American work ethic, which I will not be ashamed of a day of my life because that's the way I was raised. Um, Up early to work. That's how a lot of us was raised. And contrary to popular belief, there are still Americans that have a very strong work ethic. So, and it's not to say, of course, other people don't have a strong work ethic, but that seems to be a stigma um, within that staff at the royal household, is to have that strong work ethic. I'm sure there's people all over the world that's up early in the morning before sunrise. The royal family may not do that. Their staff may not do that. But that is the way most people operate. And it just goes to show how out of touch they are. And trust me, I am not a morning person. I am not a morning person. But I've had several jobs where I'd have to be there at 5:30 a.m., 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'd make sure I'm there. Come hell or high water, I'm there and prepared to work. And again, not my strong suit, but if I have to do it, if it's required, I'll do it. Let's see, Baron, we do right here, time and work. Well, Switzerland, I mean, clocks come from Switzerland. I expect the Swiss to be on time. I expect the Swiss to be on time. Yeah, the Swiss and the Germans, always there on time. Let's see. Yeah, and they still called her a bully. After all of that, and they still call her a bully. Well, we have to remember they only did that because they were afraid that William was going to be outed as the bully. That was to preempt any mention of William. And then, of course, the past few days, and this is not new to us because we've been paying attention, but the past few days, we keep hearing about what a bully Andrew has been and probably continues to be. The last time I've heard of anything where Andrew was using his bullying tactics was because they were doing some service on the road near the Royal Lodge or whichever house he was in, the big White House he was living in. And there was no notification or something. And he, just went off on him. He crashed out, as the young people say. When has there been an investigation of his bullying? When has there been an investigation of Charles the bully, William the bully, Kate the bully? When have they investigated any of these people? Or how about the documented Sophie Wessex the bully, where she's in a royal protection officer's face wagging her finger? I don't remember hearing the investigation for that one. Anybody? Nobody? Of course, when it's Sophie Wessex, who would dare come forward? I have never been run down by a royal protection officer, and I hope I never will. So I suppose I would never I've never been run over by a royal protection officer. I guess I wouldn't mention any bullying from Sophie Wessex either. Oh, that's tacky. Okay. Crown in crisis. Richard K. Andrew's fall may now be complete. The question is, will he bring down the House of Windsor with him? How many more times are they going to say the fall of Andrew Windsor? How many more times are they going to say the fall of Prince Andrew? This man has been falling several years now, and still he remains protected by that institution. Still, he remains housed by the institution. And lastly, he is still Prince Andrew. I don't care what they say. He is still Prince Andrew, and he is still the Duke of York. They have not found a way to take that away from him. Now, there is the remote possibility that he signed those things away. The remote possibility. But otherwise, it is only a matter of how he is addressed and what they call him. I still maintain that that is Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. The only way legally to take that away from him is to have hearings in Parliament. They would have to pass a law to remove that from him, and that has not happened. So whatever they say, he is still Prince Andrew. Let me see. Was that mentioned there? I think there was some reference, a vague reference to it. But I mean, we don't even need to look at a historic dramatization. It is just the fact that the Queen knew. If she didn't know, then how do you get your mom to give you 12 million pounds or whatever the number was? How would you get your mom to come off that kind of money if she didn't know? I mean, it couldn't be an after school science project. It would have to be paying off someone. And as with anyone who's ever paid off someone, this is only what we know about. This is only the things that we know about. But usually by the time someone has a big payoff like that, that usually means that the guilty party has probably paid off some people in the past. And because of confidentiality agreements, most likely we'll never hear about it. Yeah, a court case would be a disaster. Mm-hmm. I believe so. With that position that he had, I can't remember the exact details of it, but I do believe that that was a thing before. Anyway, how about clown in crisis? Wait. Oh, wait. Why is this going to? Oh, this computer is giving me the blues right now. Okay. Let me try that. There we go. Yeah, so instead of crown in crisis, it is the clown in crisis. See what I did there? I did a little makeover. Yeah, clown in crisis. All right. Wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. But yes, that is the clown in crisis. Oh, man. Okay, so British media and so called royalists have now shifted to focusing on Prince Andrew's mental health. because they know that's how you get restraint. Same people who have hounded Meghan for 10 years and have even been gleeful and equally disdainful to hear her suffering. When they start talking about a person's mental health, there's one or two things that's going to happen. The scary one for that person is that, how do I put it? You become a statistic. I'm always afraid when a person has been dubbed, cray cray, because when that happens, that usually means that tragedy is about to follow. So if I was him, I'd hire a food taster or something. That doesn't sound good. That's never good when they start talking about your mental health. And of course, the other thing is that, well, I don't know what the other thing is, but that I guess the other thing is that you might actually have a problem. But the alternative is there really is nothing wrong with you, and they're about to, make a move on you. I'm just saying. That's usually how these things go. You either really are losing your grip, or they're coming for you. They're coming for you. That means you're not safe, right? Remember when they were trying to say that Harry was like unwell, and you know what's happening to him since he went to California? I'm like, oh boy, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't trust that. I never trust when a big institution or a powerful individual starts talking about someone else's mental health. That sounds a bit ominous and sinister. Yeah, and think about it. What happened with Princess Diana? What happened with Princess Diana? It proceeded with the she's not well, and even after the fact, just to make sure that they cover their tracks, what are they doing? They're still saying that Princess Diana was unwell, that she was paranoid. I'm surprised they never referred to her as schizophrenic. That would have been going too far. But those are the type of tactics that they use when they want to do something nefarious. They start talking about a person's mental health. Mm-hmm. They might disappear. Yep. They might disappear you. Okay. So I suppose that's Andrew Lonnie. The monarchy will be restructured and the Sussex's title will be taken away. That is another one of their favorite distractions, is this preoccupation with Harry and Meghan's titles. And of course, it is a way to rally the troops. If there's anything that will um, draw in, oh, good Lord, I've never seen this before. If there's any way that they know to draw in the support from from their I'm sorry, y'all, celibacy, you know that they are messy, right? Celibacy will find the worst photos. You see, a lot of people don't care for celibacy because when they write an article, they also share, in some cases, the entire article that they're basing their article upon, and that article may be unfavorable. Another thing that they are very good at is the photos, right? I mean, they're great writers. I love Celebici, but they can be very, very shady when it comes to the photos that they share, right? I'm going to give you a good example of that. And Kate gets the worst of it. I promise you, Kate gets the worst of it. And they're pretty bad with what's that lady's name? Oh, Godzilla. Camilla. Okay. Anyway, one of those shady photos just caught my eye. I want to show it to you, but where the heck did it go? I'm pretty sure I saved it. Oh, never mind. I'll show you later. Oh boy, that was funny. Let me see. Leg says, "How is William and his Earth flop Sultan Bud deflection?" Yes, you notice we're not talking about it. Absolutely, we're not talking about it. Maybe he's having mental problems. The Sultan. Maybe he's having mental problems, and we'll never see or hear from him again. Thank you, Legs. Yeah, maybe the Sultan is having mental problems. Well, it was a nice life while he had it, right? Oh, man. Okay. So, oh, really? Okay. uh, all right. I'm so sorry. I should not have looked at those pictures. Okay, perhaps this is a controversial, that is, assessment of the current royal gossip industry in big 2026. But anyone still trying to tie Prince Andrew's depravity in any way to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is delusional hack. I'm sorry, is a delusional hack, or Prince William, right? If you're trying to tie those together, you're a delusional hack or you're Prince William. We saw this week Tom Sykes argue on on his Royalist Substack that Prince William needs to be made co-monarch so he can deal with Andrew and Prince Harry. I repeat, Tom Sykes has argued on his Royalist Substack that Prince William needs to be made co-monarch so that he can deal with Prince Andrew and Prince Harry. Now, Andrew Lonnie, author of last year's book about the Yorks and their sleaze, tells News Nation that he believes a royal house cleaning is in order and that the Windsors are going to punish the Sussexes alongside Prince Andrew this year. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, let them take the titles. Let them take the titles. If taking their titles is in connection in any way with Andrew, then it will imply that they had something to do with Andrew. Now, I know that's not the case. You all know that's not the case, but the implication will get lost, or not lost, but the implication will be made and the disconnection will be lost. And people will assume that they did something wrong. Well, they must have done something. Why did they take the titles away? That is not good for Harry and Meghan. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not good. because their enemies, the monarchists, royalists, whatever, the derangers, and of course, people in the press will imply that it had something to do with Andrew. The timing would be really bad. So from this moment on, even if they were to voluntarily give up their titles, it will be spun that they had to do it because of Andrew. Whatever happens, they are going to make some type of connection, no matter how loose it is, but they're going to try to make some type of connection with Andrew. And that will not serve them well. Nobody is going to take the time, or not, I shouldn't say nobody, but people that already have bias against them are not going to take the time to decide exactly why that happened. They will go with their assumptions, and it will feed into what's already a bunch of haters' negative content directed toward the Sussexes. They need to make money, right? They need to make money. And any type of misrepresentation like that will erode away at their reputations. They don't need that. They should not be on the receiving end of anything like that, especially where it concerns Andrew. If you're not taking the entire institution to task and removing titles from the entire institution, then you ought not mess with their titles, because the implication will have been made. People only go by sound bites in 2026. Nobody reads articles like they used to. We're all subject to the sound bite. We pick and choose articles in some cases, but quite often the damage is already done. You don't have to read articles to get the negative association right from the headlines. Because, and I'm going to tell you why. People share articles, and I'm guilty of this myself. I'll share an article with someone that I think may be interesting to them, and then they'll say something to me. I'll be like, oh, why? I didn't get a chance to read it yet. Now, that's not always the worst thing. I mean, it's not good, but it's always the worst thing. As a baby boomer, I'm always worried that if I don't have time to read it later, I'll either forget I have it or I'll just lose track of it. And so I quickly send it to whoever I need to share it to, just so that I don't misplace it. You understand what I'm saying? Just so that I don't misplace it, just so that I don't lose track of it. I may be driving, I may be out, I may be multitasking, and I just don't have time to do it right now. So I go ahead and send it to someone. A lot of times I save articles and I never get back to them. Don't even ask me where I saved them. I don't remember which platform I was on when if I do remember it, I have to hunt through the platforms to figure out which one was I on when I found that article. So that happens a lot. So not every type of article in every situation is the same. But when it is something that has a negative headline, you're going to see that. Even if you don't finish the article, even if you never read the article. Or you may think you know what the article says and you just never get around to it. So that is damaging. And not just with the Sussexes, with anything. With anything. So the timing of removing titles, if they decide they want to voluntarily give up their titles, not now, not right now. And let's just hope that there's no move against them, because as the Sussex squad, we have been a powerful force and we can make all the noise that we want to, but to the unsuspecting public, it is still going to seem like it has something to do with Andrew. I mean, they are trying to push this and push this, and you will know that it's gone too far if you ever see any type of formal statement from the Sussexes. You'll know that damage is being done, which, if they do make right now, I don't think that association has been made in any kind of way to most people. But if it comes close to that, you'll know it, because they're going to make some kind of public statement. They'll have to. If it gets to the point where they try to make some association, they just haven't worked out a good way to do it, but it doesn't mean that they won't try. That is the evildoers. They just haven't figured out a good way to make that association, but definitely they will try. They'll be coming for them if they can figure out a way to do it. Joan Lawman, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And believe me, you guys, nowadays your memberships mean a whole lot. It means a whole lot, because I tell you, I love the shorts, but the shorts are really messing with the long form video content creators. Okay. Alex says, if that family keeps kicking the bear, Harry is going to go full Ginger Avenger on them, particularly listen out Williams listing out Williams' indiscretions. Williams' closet is full in more ways than one, so to speak. Yes, so to speak. It is full of indiscretions. And you know what? If it comes to that, that's what it takes. If that's what it takes, then that's what they'll have to do. And you're right. Harry does have his limits. And that was on full display with the book, with the Oprah interview, which, of course, we all know that Meghan had to try to pull him back a little bit, because Harry is not a liar. And if he feels it, he's going to say it. So they were talking all that body language stuff about how Meghan this and that. Meghan saved that institution. That's what Meghan did. Meghan saved that institution because Harry was fed up. I mean, they're just, catching strays, and nothing's happening with the institution but them lobbing more and more garbage at them. So, yeah, if that's what it takes, and you know what? And when that time comes, I will be completely supportive. Whatever they decide to do, I will support that, because you can only take so much for so long, and then you got to push back. Whatever those vile royals and trolls want. Congress and the U.S. Justice Department telling people who was with Epstein, Andrew, and Williams' name was mentioned. That's true. Nowhere was their names mentioned that I'm aware of, in not in any kind of way. Although that one guy that I shared the other day, he cautioned people about that, because sometimes it can be as innocent as someone having a conversation about something in the news, and some crafty lawyer will try to use that as a diversionary tactic or something. So, but yeah, I'm just saying we have to be aware of this, because any type of association like that, real or imagined, there's always someone to take advantage of it. And reputational damage is can be just as painful as anything. But I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope that it doesn't come to that. And again, that's where the Sussex squad comes in, is that a lot of things, they try to build up a momentum on the social media. They try to build up some momentum that makes a story mainstream, which is why you have to simultaneously keep dropping those truth bombs so that it doesn't pick up speed. Okay. All right. Oh, I wasn't through yet, was I? Prince Harry. Okay, now Andrew Lonnie, author of last year's book about the Yorks and their sleeves. Okay, I did that. Tells News Nation that he believes. Okay. Oh, let me go down here. My thoughts are the same. This is from Celibacy. My thoughts are the same. It would be extremely crass, tone deaf, and childish for the monarchy to use Andrew's very real depravity and very real crimes as an excuse to throw Harry and Meghan under the bus one more time. It shows a deep vein of unseriousness at the heart of a rotten institution. People will see through it as well during all of the memeing, as in, memes, memeing and commentary yesterday for Prince Andrew's arrest. People were clearly pointing out the monarchy and the British press next move, blaming Andrew on Harry and Meghan. Why didn't Meghan do anything about Andrew? Why didn't Harry warn anyone, etc.? But you know what? If Charles and William really feel that strongly about it, do it. Do it and watch the fallout. Yes, and watch the fallout. If they try to do that, there will be fallout. I can guarantee you there will be some serious fallout. Now, the article, I'll share just a little bit of the actual article that came from. A seismic restructuring of the British monarchy may be closer than anyone realizes. Not the Prince, and Prince Harry and Meghan, and even their children could be among the biggest casualties. According to royal biographer Andrew Lonnie, King Charles is preparing to accelerate sweeping reforms that would modernize the institution, increase financial transparency, and most significantly, strip titles from any member of the family who is no longer an active working royal. I think we are going to see some reforms being announced. Lonnie told me more transparency about records and finances. Well, that's what they need to focus on, is the records and the financing. And I think we may well see some moves to remove titles from anyone who isn't in an active working role. So I think they're going to deal with Andrew and Harry problem at the same time. The Andrew and Harry problem at the same time. That is just sick. That is absolutely sick. Oh. To equivocate, you know what? Never mind. The timing is no accident. The ongoing legal pressure surrounding Prince Andrew appears to have forced the palace's hands. Pushing Charles to act on reform may have. Oh, let me drink some water. Excuse me. Okay. The timing is no accident. The ongoing legal pressure surrounding Prince Andrew appears to have forced the palace's hand, pushing Charles to act on reforms he may have hoped to delay until hope to delay until William's reign. Uh-huh. Oh, listen to this. The public do want to see more obvious change, Lonnie said. I think this has hastened reforms that are so necessary that perhaps Charles was hoping William would start, but I think those will now be accelerated. You know what? Once you start snatching titles away, let me tell you, it is going to beg the question, why does any of those people need titles? They may be sowing the seeds of their own destruction. Okay. Yeah, Andrew Lonnie, he has it in for the Sussexes. He says at the start of this year, sources close to Harry suggested he had received assurances that the taxpayer-funded royal security would be reinstated. Lonnie is skeptical that the promise will hold, especially now. It's very hard to justify security paid for by the taxpayers. Andrew is still going to receive his taxpayer funded security. Even if Charles pays for it, that is still taxpayer money. That is still taxpayer money. And as Graham Smith said from Republic, this idea that the duchy money is their own personal income, that is something that was created during feudal times. Well, feudal times have already passed us. So any money that they're getting from these duchies, that is actually public money. That's why they do that whole circus with the um, crown estate, where the money goes from here, then it goes from there, and then it goes back to here, and then it goes to there. And what happens along the way? They keep some of the money. So they generate an income. That income goes to the crown estate, and that goes to the treasury. And then the treasury will give the money back to the. I mean, come on. Come on. That didn't make sense 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and it doesn't make sense today. That will never make sense. You give them a huge salary, more than they would have made in the private sector, to do absolutely nothing. If they were in the private sector, they would have to produce something. They would have to captain a ship of industry and satisfy their stockholders, right? But the royals, whether they do a satisfactory job or not, they still get paid. Utter nonsense. Mm. And you know what? You know what? Once you start removing royal titles, then what about the rest of the country? What about all the aristocrats? What about Sir David Beckham? I mean, he doesn't have a royal title, but it's a title nonetheless. What is the point of Sir David Beckham? What does that confer upon him? A better table at a restaurant? A guaranteed position at any royal activity? I mean, how far do you want to go? Yeah, Mary H., I don't know how they think that vengeance, the revenge, and the all of these decisive moves that they're making. Okay, I get it. Andrew has committed not only a crime, but something that you can almost compare to sin in some, respect. I'm sure that some of it has been sinful. We just don't want to hear those details so much, but whatever the case may be, he broke the law. He's been sinful, whatever. All of that, I can understand going after someone like that. But do you mean to tell me that targeting the Sussexes and their children, of course, is somehow going to make people respect the monarchy more? That's going to make people respect the monarchy? What it probably does is give coverage to who knew what when. I mean, let's face it, who knew what when? That includes Queen Elizabeth, that includes Charles III and William V. That includes all three of those people. Who knew what when? And if they mess with those kids' titles, it just may come out. Who knew what when? Who knew what when? That's a possibility. Who knew what when? Harry is a monarchist. Harry believes in that institution. He believes in the ability of that institution to create a platform second to none, right? And he uses his platform for the greater good. So why would you want to tear down someone who has given so much to his country and someone who has had to sacrifice so much? I say they're playing with fire, but if that is the way things are going to be, then we'll all have to sit back and watch the fallout. We'll all sit back and we will watch the fallout. Okay, they are being ate up because of protecting Andrew. They want to blame the Sussexes, but they ostracized the Sussexes and brought in Andrew. Yes, that is the real story here, is that they made their choice. They chose Andrew. They picked Andrew over the Sussexes. They did that. They chose Andrew over the Sussexes, and now they are paying the price for it. And now they look ridiculous for the sake of it. Thank you. That was very well put. Let me see. The best bet would be to embrace the Sussexes. That would be their only chance to create positive PR. I agree. I agree. They, if they were wise, which they are not, if they were wise, they would hedge their bets on making nice with the Sussexes. If they don't, then they are going to face the consequences. Let me see. You know what? I'm thinking I should save this till tomorrow. Maybe I'll save that one till tomorrow. Because I did not mean to stay on for more than an hour. Let's see. What do I have left? Yeah, maybe I'll tackle that one tomorrow. Because that's about another hour. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to save that for tomorrow. And I think we'll call it at this point. I will save that one for tomorrow. I will be on early tomorrow and then on later again. So get used to the new schedule, you guys. Although we still will have some of the longer ones. Let's see here. I love those squaddies here. Real talk. Well, thank you, T-Mac. Thank you, T-Mac. I really appreciate that. And of course, equally, I appreciate the squaddies. I believe we all appreciate one another here. It's a good community. It really is. It is a good community. I have never really been much for belonging to a group, so to speak. I never really feel connected to groups. And this is like the first time that I've had like a real connection to something in my whole life. And that's the truth. This is like the first time. Usually I'm always on the perimeter, on the periphery, never any type of central player or anything like that, because of my, natural born skepticism of people's intention, right? But with the Sussexes, it's easy because even though we may not always feel the same way at the same time, what we have in common, I think, is so much stronger than whatever our differences are. So I'm really surprised. I mean, I did not see this one coming when I first started the YouTube. I thought I was going to be talking about travel, and here we are. So going a whole nother direction. So, all right, then we'll call it there, and then I will see y'all earlier than later tomorrow, and then again later after that, in all likelihood. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Sandra. Glad to hear that. I really appreciate it. What's that? I'm a loner type of person. I love the Sussex squad. Yeah, that's that describes me. A bit of a loner, a bit aloof, a bit of an enigma. Yeah, kind of hard to place sometimes, but I mean, my heart is usually in the right place, but yeah, groups scare me. Groups really do scare me. I think the group power dynamic, like I look at some of these like mega churches and stuff like that, and I'm just like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I would, if I was part of like a big mega church, I I don't actually I don't know that I would stay long. I mean, um I've tried, and it's just like it's hard for me to have any type of fellowship like that if I start seeing things that I believe to be shady, or if I believe a person in authority is shady. I'm just like, okay, I'm out of here. I don't usually let grass grow under my feet. Thank you, Heather Stroud. You know, I had actually mentioned to someone that I was thinking about taking like one of those group travel things, next time I travel. And the person I mentioned that to was just like, "You? You?" I said, "Yeah," because they know that I like to, just kind of do stuff on my own. But I thought at the very least I would try it. Plus, with the group travel, sometimes you can have like the afternoon to yourself or something like that. So I'm gonna try that one day, and I'll let you know how it works out for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm not completely against it. I guess I have to do it at least one good time, because I am getting to that age where I probably should not go certain places alone anymore, you know? And sometimes when you want to go places, it's hard to go with people you're closest to because this one's got to work and this one, or maybe they're just not so interested. But I was thinking about like doing a like a group thing by myself, because I still, you know, I usually like to have my own space when I'm like at a hotel or something. I go visit people out of town. I never stay at their homes. I'd rather stay at a hotel. I cannot stand to stay at someone's house. I'd rather stay at a hotel. Plus, plus, there's another good reason for that. When I travel, my stomach gets kind of funny, if you know what I mean. I don't know what it is, but when I travel, my stomach gets kind of funny. And if my stomach is going to be funny, I'd rather for it to be funny in my own designated space than to make enemies. I hope that explains itself. But yeah, I'd rather for my stomach to get funny someplace else. Um oh, yeah. That's one reason right there. uh, but every time I hear someone say that they traveled and they got really sick because of something they ate, I always feel vindicated with my choice to eat fast food. At least I'm going to say, okay, when I go to a new city, I do want to have whatever everybody's favorite is, right? But mostly, and especially for the sake of time. I mean, if there's some place convenient, I'll go. But I like to keep a very active and busy itinerary. So I don't want to spend 3 hours with fine dining. I'd rather get up early, get that excursion trip going, right? and then have something light while I'm out or whatever. But I don't want to do like the big experience thing like that. I'd rather go places than to, that kind of thing. So, yeah, and plus I like to try Starbucks in another country. I like to try McDonald's in another country because they have stuff on the menu that you can't get back home. And that's part of my experience. So it costs less and it's convenient. And unlike some like places that you can go, I feel like I probably won't, get food poisoning. To put it mildly, there's some places where I'd be kind of afraid of food poisoning. All inclusive trip and go anywhere on my own. Oh, okay. You do the all inclusive, T Mac. Okay. I did the all inclusive for the first time in Mexico. Yeah. And that was the first time I ever did an all inclusive. And it was good. It was good. You get your meals and everything, and you have the run of the resort and all that. And that was my first time doing it. And after that, I said to myself, you know what? Now I see why people enjoy these all inclusives. So yeah, I'm a little too old to do things the way I used to. Austria, okay. Oh, Tyrol. Um, oh, we talked about that before, right? Isn't that the home of the crystal? What is the crystal? Swarovski crystal? Crystal? Or was it something else? Well, yeah, I think we talked about that. Well, I will keep that in mind. Thank you very much. I mean, it's nice to be welcomed. And honestly, when I went to Austria, I didn't get anywhere outside of Vienna, or should I say Wien. I went to the Schönbrunn Palace, and I walked the entire Ringplatz. I walked the entire Ringplatz. That was exciting. Such a beautiful city, so clean. I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. Tyrol is, am I saying it right? Tyrol is located in the Alps. Tyrol is bordered by to the north by the state of Bavaria, and to the east by the state of Carinthia and Salzburg. Am I looking at the right place? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you so much for the invitation. Oh, Swarovski is close to you. Okay. How nice. I tell you, I speak for anyone who's ever traveled outside of the United States. You think you got it made until you leave the US, and then you're just like, wow, the quality of life in other places is much better than you ever thought it was. And that's the truth. You know, if you listen to like the person in the White House, you would think, oh, everybody wants to be here. No, they don't. No, they don't. Okay, so I'm going to say goodnight because it is getting later. And I will see you all tomorrow or later today. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. And try to stay positive, you guys. Avoid the news, the bad news. There's so much of it out there. And do not be afraid to switch it off. If something is really happening, trust me, you'll find out about it. But don't let all of these negative news stories drag you down because it's not worth it. Your health and your wealth and your well-being and your families and all those things that keeps your world moving. That's what's really important. Bad news is not going to make you any stronger. It's going to make you nervous and reactive, and you don't need that. You don't need that. You need to be there for your families. So do not let these things drag you down. And as for the Sussexes, they're going to be okay because the truth is on their side and we're on their side. So they'll be okay. All right. All right. I will see you guys. You know, this thing will not let me out of here. This thing is not letting me out. Let me try that again. That's so weird. This thing, I told you this computer is acting funny. That is so weird. This thing will not let me. Okay.